Hello, today's topic is logarithmic equations. And before we even look at logarithmic equations, I want to actually make you aware of the difference between logarithmic equations and exponential equations. And please, if you don't know what are exponential equations, watch the previous videos I have posted on exponential equations. Now, with exponential equations, I taught you that the variable is in the index. Okay? And compared to logarithmic equations, here the x is in the log. It is not in the index. Okay? Then the second difference is that in logarithmic equations, you will be given the log. Okay, and we apply the log of m equals log of n, then m equals n log. And in exponential equations, we actually start with m equaling n, and then we take the log. So we change to log format. So that becomes log m equals log n. That's in comparison, and if you watch this and compare this now, then you will see we are actually doing the opposite of the same law, okay? And the law is that if m equals n, then we can say the log of m is also the same as log of n, okay? So that's the law that we will apply in both logarithmic as well as exponential equations. But now back to logarithmic equations. How do you recognize them, people? You will be given a log, either one on the one side and a number on the other side, or you will be given a few logs on each side. It doesn't matter. But the point is you must look out for the log. That is what is given. And you will then find that in your log you will have your variable. Okay, and once again, you must solve for x, people, meaning you must find a number value for x. Okay, now the simple logarithmic equations, if you have a single log which gives you a constant. Okay, so if you look at this example, you've got log of bracket 3x minus 2, which equals 2. Okay, now we're going to convert the logs to index format. Now remember, this is the log of 3x minus 2 with base 10. And when we convert the logs, we now know that we take the base. Okay, my answer becomes the exponent, and then therefore I can have on the other side 3x minus 2. Maybe it's easier if I just simply say I'm going to solve the log with base 10. Okay, base 10. I'm going to put the exponent or the constant as exponent. That is what logs are, or how we convert logs to indices format. And then on the left hand side, we've got 3x minus 2 left over. So in this case, both of these are the same. It makes no difference which way around you do that. Okay, and if you look at that, people, now we again got a simple linear equations, and we will solve that by using Gr10. Okay, so take over the 2. It is negative, so it must become positive. And if you calculate the right-hand side, 10 squared is 100, plus 2 is 102. And on the left-hand side, we've got 3x left over. Now we must still move the x, because remember, we want to solve for x, right? We want to find a number value for x, right? And that is multiplied on this side, becoming divided on the right-hand side. And if you press 102 divided by 3 into your calculator, it gives you an answer of 34. Now, a very, very important point here is that for your log equations, you must always do the check, okay? It is a must. because remember, people, that there is no such thing as logs of negative numbers. So if you now substitute the value for x into this, and you will get a negative log, then that is actually no solution. So let's check in this case. If we have the log of 3, now substitute into the place of x your answer of 34 minus 2, okay, equals 2. Now you must put this into your calculator. So please ensure that you put it in correctly. You have the log, open bracket, 3, then substitute x with 34 minus 2 and close the bracket, and that gives you 2. So your left hand side is 2 and your right hand side is 2, which means 34 is a correct answer, people. I repeat, you must do the check because we cannot take the log of any negative number. Right, so what would we really do, people? You were given a log, right? And in step 1, you convert the log to the index format. And then thereafter, you've got the simple linear equations, which you solve by Gr10. Okay, in this example, we've got more than one log being a constant. So it is just a bit more complicated. It reads log x plus log of x minus 3 equals 1. Now, immediately when you look at that, you should see the sum. And for the sum, people, the multiplication law counts, the product law counts. So we are first going to make it one log, okay? And we are going to make that one log by applying the log laws. In this case, it's the product law. So that is the same as the log of x times x minus 3, all right? We are applying the product law in this case. Remember, the product of one log is the same as the sum of two logs, all right? That is the product law. And then on the right-hand side, we still got 1. So now we are back to what we had in example 1. We've got one log, which is equal to a constant. So now we're going to convert the logs into index format. So remember, this is a base of 10. Okay, so on the left hand side, we've got x times x minus 3 equals, we're going to take the base, right? And this becomes the index. That is how we change a log into index format. And now if you look at this, again, people, we've got a linear equation, which we are just simply going to solve by doing Gr10. Okay, so firstly, you want to find a value for x, which means we are going to calculate the brackets first, okay? Bottommost comes always first, right? Then x times x is x squared, and x times negative 3 is negative 3x, right? Which equals 10, because 10 to the power of 1 is just simply 10. Now, if you look at that, you should start recognizing this as a quadratic, and there's 1, 2, 3 trinomials, which means you must take over the 10. Remember, it is positive on this side, so it becomes negative on this side. So we will have x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. And that now is a quadratic trinomial, which we are going to solve, trinomial, which is equal to 0. And we will solve that by factorization. Right. So that is now your basic algebra knowledge that you must have. So this is then A1, A2, B1, B2. Or you can solve by using the formula. It does not matter. You can choose any method that is the easiest for you. If I factorize this, which I will not show now, I will just simply write in my factors, which is x minus 5 times x plus 2, which is equal to 0. And now remember the principle A times B equals 0. Then either A must be 0, so x minus 5 equals 0, or, importantly, B must be 0, so x plus 2 equals 0. And now again, people, we've got a simple linear equations. So we're going to solve, take over the 5, then x becomes positive 5. And in this case, take over the 2, which becomes negative. So x equals negative 2. So I have two possible answers. But now, very, very important, once again, you must do your check. Okay? Because we cannot take the log of any negative number. So let's do the log of 5. So substitute x in each case with the 5, right? Let me do it this way. We have calculated x being 5, so put 5 in there and put 5 in there. All right, and then you have the log of 5 plus the log of 5 minus 3. Okay, and if you put this into your calculator, it will give you an answer of 1 equals 1. All right, so 5 is a possible solution. It is correct. But now, importantly, if we substitute x being negative 2, then again, people, in the place of x, substitute a negative 2 and substitute a negative 2. Right, and then just simply take down the log of negative 2 plus the log of negative 2 minus 3, okay, equals 1. And now, look here, there is the log of a negative number, which is impossible. I just want to show you, if you put the log of negative 2 into your calculator, you press equals, it gives you a math error. It is impossible, okay, gives you a math error. It's impossible to get the log of a negative number. Therefore, people, negative 2 is not a solution. Right. So, let's look once again at what we have done. We've got two logs on the left-hand side and we've got a constant on the right-hand side. Remember, we want to get it into one log equaling a constant, okay? So that we can then convert that into the index format. So step 1 is, if you have more than one log, you must make it one log by applying log laws, all right? So apply the log law. In this case, it is the product law. Then from here to the next step, we're going to convert the log into index format. Now, important, people, in logarithmic equation, you will always have this step. You will always convert the log into an index format. And once you've got it in index format, people, then you basically can solve for x in various possible ways. In this case, we are getting a quadratic trinomial. On the right-hand side, we've got 0. So to solve x, meaning to find a value for x, we will factorize, and then we will make either the one factor equal to 0 or the other factor equal to 0, and we will get two possible answers for x. Lastly, you must do your check. In this case, we see that 5 is a possible solution because it gives me the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. But negative 2 is not a possible solution simply because I can never take the log of a negative number. All right, so I hope this helps. Please let me know if I need to send some more videos. I will do so gladly.